Welcome back to Retrotopia, the podcast where every episode is a ticket back to the things we love, the things we forgot, and the things we somehow felt were better before we had to pay our bills. I'm your host, Brian, and this is episode 144, and all in, this is my second attempt at this because the original file got corrupted, so I had to redo everything and re-answer all the questions, but you know what, that's part of the job, I guess. That's what you get when you try to save a file, silly me. But anyways, gamers, sharpen your swords, polish your helmets, try not to eat anything suspicious from the local blacksmith, because today we're charging headfirst into one of the most beloved beat-em-ups of the modern era. This week we are talking about Castle Crashers. So from rescuing the kidnapped princess to battling giant bosses, the undead armies, and more woodland creatures than any knight should reasonably have to fight, Castle Crashers took the classic side-scrolling brawler formula, covered it in colorful chaos, and somehow made it all work. So whether you're trying to hack through the enemies with friends on the couch or desperately trying to revive the teammate who wandered off on their own, every adventure is equal parts heroic, hilarious, and completely unpredictable. So gather your party, stock up on potions, and try not to argue over who gets the princess in the end, because the kingdom isn't going to save itself. Now, if you're just here for the chat, just head about 30 minutes down the road. I know this because I already deleted or lost that file, so about 30 minutes down the road and you're going to run into it, but we hope you stay. I do like doing these intros. I am very frustrated that it corrupted, and it's going to sit in the back of my brain until I finish recording this, so I am still not in a great mindset to record, but I got to push through. So I'm going to do that. And before we begin, I just want to say we got to do the plugs. So if you could rate it wherever you get your podcasts, it helps us get seen, helps us grow. We also have social media at linktree/Retrotopia. That's linktr.ee/Retrotopia. There you can find access to all of our social media, including our Discord, where we have a tidy little community going, and our merch store, which is also at retrotopia.dashery.com. Also a link in the description of the podcast. Now, if you wish to support us further or join in on some of the fun that we do around here, you can do so at Patreon for free. And for the free tier, you get to take part in the polls, which we have another one coming up very soon. You get to chat with the host. You can send us messages. You can write in about the game of the week. You can write into the host on the 9-bit banter box. And you get to listen to Quick Play, which is a short review series as well. Joe Fettuccini and myself, we do Retro Bites Neo, and we try to put a video. So far we've been successful, but we try to put a video on Patreon every month, and it's just a little extra for the Patreons, the people who support us. Also, we have a hero tier, which is just $2 a month, and from that you get everything you got in the free tier, plus you get the pick a game for Quick Play for one of the hosts of your choice to review, as well as you get our other series called New Game Plus, where we review a game that's a lot newer, just doesn't fit the scope of a retro game podcast, and you'll also get a shout-out, as well as the After Dark, which is our pre-warm-up little weekly show. So now that all the plugs are out of the way, it is time that we give you, the audience, a chance to write into the host on what we call the 9-bit banter box, which is culturally elegant. All right, first up we have Munchie, who says, Mr. Canada, out of curiosity, have you made any progress on your game idea? Last you spoke, to sound like you're having some creative blockage. I hope it's going well. Well, thank you very much. My creative blockage is part don't have an idea yet, and another part I haven't really worked on trying to get an idea yet, so I don't know if that makes sense. I've been focusing on the mechanics, trying to get myself up to some sort of competent level, so maybe I can go, put out feelers for game studios and see if I can't get a job after I'm done school this year. But as far as the idea, I do jot notes down here and there. I was thinking of something like Evil Land that goes through the history of games, but do it with a time-traveling mechanic. And as soon as I started thinking that, it started becoming a little bit complicated. So I got to build the flow chart to see how that would work in my brain. But that's the basic idea that I have. I still have to sit down. I think that one of the big things is I actually got to create a character in a world that I can kind of build off. Start the structure of something. And I'm probably going to end up doing that this year because one of the classes is actually script writing, which I've already done an entire program on script writing. but this one is going to be more tailored towards video games, including decision trees and stuff like that, so I'm really excited. It is a very long process until I feel like I'm going to ready to begin workshopping the actual game idea, so keep asking. I might have something new in a couple of months here, especially as the course starts back up. Thank you very much. Next up, we have Dylan Jacobson, who says, "Hey Brian, do you have a favorite video game remake?" Yes, but I like, outside of like the obsessive amount I talk about Chrono Trigger, I don't really have a favorite video game, or in reality, like, I do like JRPGs. I would consider them the go-to genre that I go to, but as far as games themselves, once I'm done it, if I feel like going back to it, like say Final Fantasy VII Remake, I've played 3 times, it to me is what makes a good game. Metroid Zero Mission, like, I've played the NES Metroid, but I finished Metroid Zero Mission and I'm not a Metroid person, so that one I would put high on my list of remakes. And the classification, I should mention this right off the bat, but the classification I'm using is full-on remakes, not just remasters with a HD upgrade or something that doesn't actually fix anything, and little quality of life changes, they don't mean remake to me. But yeah, so Final Fantasy VII Remake is Zero Mission for sure. Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening on the Switch was a good one. I actually really like that one because I find it hard to go back to Game Boy games sometimes. Just the low fidelity graphics there just sometimes don't really jive with me, but the remake and the art style used in Link's Awakening on the Switch was just brilliant in my opinion. There's also, I know I'm kind of going to contradict myself here, but the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters and the Live Alive, simply because, yeah, they are remasters, outside of Live Alive, which is like completely rebuilt from the Super Nintendo, are actually same idea. But I really like them because they did have a lot of quality of life improvements, especially in the NES versions of the Final Fantasy games, so that's on my list as well. I started playing Elder Scrolls Oblivion on Xbox, and that just brought me right back to, you know, my late teens, early adulthood phase, where Elder Scrolls was just a game you played for hours on end. Most of all, the game I think recently that's a full-on remake, Dragon Quest III, which I'd probably slide into the Final Fantasy VII or Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster game. So that's just a short list. As if do I have a favorite one? Not really. I mean, there's so many good games that are remade, but I just like them when they are built in a way that makes them more modern. There's some games I'd love to see remake with modern controls, like Mega Man Legends would be one, and I don't know why they won't do it, because apparently Capcom hates money, so that's between them and their financiers. Alright, next up we have Julio, says, "Brian, we all know that you have an affinity for some chicken wings. What are your top 3 favorite sauces and or dry rubs?" I am going to preface this that before I get into it, I eat my wings without, like, non-breaded or naked or natural, whatever you want to call them for wherever you're from. However, if it is a dry rub, I want them breaded. Now, salt and pepper dry rub is great to pick up and bring home, put in the fridge, sleep off that drunk, wake up with your hangover, and you eat them cold, and they are the best wings ever. Now, to answer your question specifically, I always go with like a medium or a hot, depending on my mood. So if I'm feeling the heat, I like a hot. If I'm kind of just want the, like, the salty, I don't know, savory flavor of the wing sauce, go with a medium. Or if I'm feeling kind of really wanting that heat, I like punish myself, I'll actually order medium wings and then get a side of the suicide sauce on and just like pour the suicide sauce on to get that medium hot with suicide. Now, I haven't had the inkling yet to try the suicide with the hot, but we'll see how that goes. Maybe someday soon. Also, I like a good smoky barbecue. If I'm not feeling the heat at all, smoky barbecue is definitely a really good sauce to have. And the final one is a hot honey. It's like honey garlic, but you mix in hot sauce, so you get a bit of the sweetness of the honey and you get a little bit of that heat from the hot sauce. So those are my top 3 flavors, including the salt and pepper, which is the bonus 4th one. Another wings question here from the Big Deal, who says, "How much meat is appropriate to leave on the bone when eating chicken wings, and What is an insulting amount? An insulting amount is how my kids eat chicken's wing. My kid, sorry, I only have one. How he eats chicken wings. He nibbles at it and there's so much meat left over. I feel like I'm paying for somebody to not eat. So, yeah, he's learning though. He's getting better. Got to go through the process. For me, I eat the whole wing. Like, I will drag the meat off that like I've never eaten before. And normally when I go for chicken wings, that's the only thing I have for dinner. So it's just like a pound of chicken wings. So I am pretty hungry when I eat the wings, and I will devour the meat right off the bone. And apparently my time in the military has taught me to eat like a monster, because I still eat really fast, and it surprises people because I can tear apart a pound of chicken wings in about 3 minutes. And that's me taking my time, because I don't know, they're there. I don't talk when I eat, so if I'm at the pub or the bar and I'm sitting there and I'm having a conversation with somebody and the food comes out, well, I'm going to destroy the food and then go back to the conversation. It's just the way I've always been. Thanks very much for the 2 wings questions. I do love me some wings. And next up we have Blobby, who says, I'm stealing this from Unbuckle Cape. What is your guilty pleasure movie? Mine's Dirty Dancing, and I'm not ashamed. And you shouldn't be ashamed, brother. No, all right. I got a couple here, but I'm going to finish it off with like a series of movies, and you'll understand why when I explain it. But I'm going to start out with like Pleasantville, if you've ever heard of that movie. Pleasantville was with Tobey Maguire and Reese Witherspoon, where they go to this black and white TV land, and as they make people happy, color comes to the world. And I always love that movie. If it's on, I can sit down and watch it, just like Legally Blonde. I should not like Legally Blonde, but it is a really enjoyable movie, and that's kind of my secret pleasure, because I'll always see it on TV, or I'll see it somewhere and I'll drag my wife so she has to sit with me so I can be like, oh, I have to watch this again. But yeah, those would be my 2, I guess, normal guilty pleasure movies. Now, my real guilty pleasure movie is what me and my brother do every Christmas. We started a tradition, I think about maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago. It's been a while. But what we do is we find a Steven Seagal movie. Now, his criteria originally was it has to have 3 names in the title. So, yeah, like Under Siege 2, Sniper Special Ops. You have to have 3 names in the title to be an absolutely bad movie. So bad, it's good. And we sit there and we laugh at them. And it all started with Under Siege 2, because it was on TV, and there was this scene where Steven Seagal was running like from the train as it goes off a bridge or a cliff or whatever. And you can tell he's running in front of a green screen, and he's putting 0 effort into it. And then he fights the final boss, which might have happened before this, and he does not get touched. And it's not even that he didn't get touched, it's that he was so pathetic in his moves and still won the fight easily that we just pissed ourselves laughing. So we started doing this every year, and I think we're running out of movies, but there is a couple of things I love about it. We watched one, Sniper Special Ops. Not a great movie, has a bunch of WWE wrestlers in it, and Steven Seagal's role was in a chair. If you ever seen the memes or the stuff online there where he does his best acting sitting down, well, this movie was the one where he really exemplified that trait, because he sat the entire movie. His entire job was to be a quote-unquote sniper and sit in an Overwatch while everybody else did all the work. A second one was Flight of Fury, and I actually pulled the Wikipedia description, so I'll explain that to you. So, Air Force pilot John Sands, who's played by Steven Seagal, has been wrongfully imprisoned in a military detention center where his memory is to be chemically wiped out. His superiors feel threatened by the knowledge he gained from his assignment to operations deemed too sensitive for regular intelligence service. He escapes the detention facility. That is the plot buildup of the movie. That happens in the first scene. And the rest of the movie is him finding a jet that he's the only person on the planet that can pilot, but he's also a special forces guy who was like a submarine commander and sold sandwiches when he was a teenager. Like, it is so bad. And again, it's his goatee phase. I'm pretty sure this is goatee phase Seagal. And if you know what that means, hold on a second. I wrote Flight of Flight. All right. No, it is not goatee phase. It's right before that. But this is like the downfall of Steven Seagal. he just cannot act, and it's just so funny when he tries, and we laugh, but then there was one even better than that, and it's called End of a Gun. And again, here comes the Wikipedia. Actually, this one was AI because Google threw it out and I was too lazy. But Michael Decker, who is played by Steven Seagal, is an ex-DEA agent working as a mall security guard in Paris, crosses paths with Lisa Durant. When he witnesses her being beaten, he intervenes and kills her attacker in self-defense. Grateful and recognizing his skill set, Lisa approaches Decker with a proposition. Help her steal $2 million in drug money from a ruthless drug kingpin. Now, when this movie starts, there is no malls in the entire movie. Unless they're talking about some sort of weird, like the mall, I don't say Mall of America, but if they're talking about like some weird version of a mall, I didn't notice it. But again, this is one of those movies where he's just, well, there was a scene in it, 2 scenes. Okay, I got 3 scenes. So the first one, he makes love to the woman, and the scene is she's completely naked, and of course he's completely clothed all the time. Like, it's just the implication that they did it. The second one is he is climbing up a parking garage, and he distracts a guard, and then he like cuts open with a pair of bolt cutters this lock, and he opens this gate to go up to the next level. But the problem was there was nothing stopping him from climbing around the fence that he was trying to get like through. He could have literally distracted the guard and just walked around the fence. And that was not even the worst, because then they had Asian Cowboy. An Asian Cowboy was just Asian guy with a cowboy hat, and I don't remember if that's his name in the movie, but that's what we called him. And they built him up. He was like face to face with Seagal. He's like, I'm going to kick your ass. Shit you not. Seagal just like later in the movie, after all this build up that something's going to happen, Seagal just shoots him. And that's it. That was the entire conflict there. It's like the guy couldn't even get a break. So yeah, my guilty pleasure for movies, and I know I've been going on this one way too long, is that it's the Seagal movies we watch every Christmas. All right, well, let's wrap it up with Retro Salvage Games. It says, great friend of the Great North. I'm sitting today to give you a massive thank you for everything that you've not only done for this community, but for Retro Salvage Games as well. You, my friend, are the pinnacle of an upstanding citizen, and I'm grateful to call you captain of this wild ship we call Retrotopia. Stop, take a breath, and soak in the smell of success. Oh wait, that's just my fart. Blessings to you and yours, you good sir. Well, thank you very much, Retro Salvage Games. And speaking of which, we've created a little ad for him. If you're looking to level up your retro game collection, we've got just the place for you. Head on over to RetroSalvageGames.com, the official retro game store of Retrotopia. Whether you're chasing down a childhood favorite, hunting the elusive cartridge, or just looking to grow your collection, Retro Salvage Games has something for every retro gamer. And because you're listening to Retrotopia, you can get 10% off your entire order. Just use the promo code JammyDodger at checkout. That's JAMMYDODGER for 10% off everything at RetroSalvageGames.com. Great games, great prices, and now an even better deal. Go check them out today. All right, now it's time to reset the monkey paw, because it's choose one, lose one.
Ladies and gentlemen, roll up and choose your power-up from the game of the week. You pick a power, we pick a consequence. It's choose one, lose one, the game where everyone's a loser.
All right, first up we have Hooli, who says, I would like a castle that cannot be crashed. Well, Hooli, a man's home is his castle, ergo your house cannot be crashed. But you also cannot leave your castle because you forgot to build a drawbridge and you have a giant moat around your property. So people also can't bring you food, so you can't get groceries or food delivery. So you're starting to starve. And to make it worse, a family moves in who loves to barbecue daily downwind from you. Super Dave says, give me that grand pipe organ that comes equipped with a laser fence and a cannon, please, and thank you. Well, you do get that grand pipe organ, big boy. That organ is your penis, and it now comes equipped with that said laser fence and cannons. So every time you go pee, you destroy the bathroom and a good chunk of the house. It really makes your spouse upset. Dylan Jacobson says, can I reallocate all my skill points into strength? Of course you can. That's what it's all about. And you do. But in turn, you have no defense magic or speed. People walk by you and randomly punch you in the nuts simply because they know you're too slow to fight back. Next up, we have AJL 2019 FTW. Says, I want the ability to beat my boss until bags of gold and apple rains falls from the sky. I am going to grant you this wish, and I really wish this wasn't choose one, lose one, because I'd be like right on board cheering you on. But it is choose one, lose one, so that's not the way the game is played, and you do get to beat your boss, and you get to beat him with ease. I'm going to give you that much. Unfortunately, he has a second form, and it is way stronger and has a lot more ties to HR. Retro Salvage Game says, I choose to have one more night with the boys on Xbox Live doing what we wanted when we wanted. Well, you get your one more night with the boys playing Xbox Live, but after the sun comes up, those boys died. Now, you would think that would be the end of it, but I'm also gifting you the requirement to always have boys. And every night the cycle repeats. They come over, you play games, and sun comes up and they die. You become known as the Xbox buddy killer. People try not to be your friends, but you're just too goddamn charming. Next, we have Blobby that says, can I have the behemoth chicken you get as a pet? Yes. Yes, you can. But you have to take care of it. And it's going to take up most of your backyard, and it's going to lay these massive eggs. And the problem is, you cannot keep up with all the eggs it produces, so they will eventually go rotten and just have that sulfuric rotten egg smell that drives property values down in your neighborhood, which means that your neighbors aren't going to invite you to swing anymore. Sorry, buddy. Well, finally, we have Munchie, who says, this is a tough one. I would like the chance to go on a wild adventure that ends with a princess kiss. Just not the last princess. Granted, I'm going to gift you plane tickets to go to Spain and go on an adventure there to kiss the young Princess Leonor. Don't worry, I double-checked. She is over 18. But when you get there, you attempt to enter the royal grounds, but you are quickly met with the Spanish guard who capture and drag you into a dungeon. Turns out you should have stuck with that last princess. All right, that is it for Choose One, Lose One. Thank you, everybody, as always. And before we get into the final part of this intro, we are going to let Alan regale us with his beautiful gentleman's interlude.
Once upon a time, in a kingdom where every problem could be solved by enthusiastically bonking it with a sword, 4 colorful knights set off on a grand adventure. Their noble mission? Rescue kidnapped princesses, recover a magical crystal, and politely remind evil wizards that world domination was generally frowned upon. Along the way, the brave heroes discovered that friendship was important, but not too important. After all, every rescued princess was an excellent excuse to duel your companions for her affection. Fairy tale etiquette, apparently. The kingdom was filled with grumpy barbarians, mischievous thieves, dragons who had clearly skipped anger management classes, and deer with surprisingly questionable bowels. Every battle showered the knights with gold, new weapons, adorable animal companions, and just enough chaos to make armor polishing a full-time job. This magical tale first opened its pages on the Xbox 360 via Xbox Live Arcade on 27th August 2008, before spreading its cheerful mayhem to Windows, PlayStation 3, Mac OS, Linux, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PlayStation 4 over the years. It was lovingly created by the Behemoth, an independent game studio celebrated for its distinctive hand-drawn art style, wonderfully absurd humor, and delightfully over-the-top cooperative gameplay. And so, the knights learned the greatest lesson of all. Courage is admirable, teamwork is powerful, and if someone says, this boss looks easy, they're almost certainly about to be launched across the screen by an enormous troll. The kingdom was saved, the celebrations were loud, and players everywhere discovered that Happily Ever After is much more entertaining when it involves cartoon explosions, questionable heroics, and a suspiciously aggressive corn on the cob.
Thank you, Alan. Now, before we get into the game proper, or the game chat proper, I should say, we have some comments from you, the listeners. And first up, we have Retro Salvage Games. It says, such an incredible time playing this with the gang back in the day. Get off work, throw on the headset, hop on Xbox Live Chat, and just spend the rest of the night playing Castle Crashers and ripping on each other for hours. What a time to be alive. Take me back, good sir. Sergeant Ombre says, just picked this game up on the Steam sale. Super excited to hear your thoughts. Me too. Munchie says, oh my god, this game is awesome. I played the original Xbox Arcade and now I've been playing it with my 5-year-old on Switch. Red Guy is the best in my opinion, but also love me some Blue Ice. That's sweet. Playing it with your kid. I might actually do that. Play some of the game with my kid. Next, we have Dylan Jacobson who says, my wife introduced me to this game not long after we got married, and I'm glad she did. Great beat 'em up with some very funny moments. Light blue guy with the lightsaber all the way. That's sweet. You found yourself a good woman. And finally, we have Sauceboy Brad who says, I got this game with my Xbox 360 for Christmas the year when this came out, and I played it all day and was instantly hooked. The perfect mix of beat 'em up combat tied in with simple RPG elements that leaving you wanting to constantly level up and buff your knight. Probably my favorite game of all time, and hard to believe it got an update nearly 15 years after release and really gave the game an awesome glow up that it truly deserves for the masterpiece that it is. Couldn't have said a lot of that better, but we're going to try, because with a little of music here, I'm going to lead us into the episode. So we are talking Castle Crashers by Behemoth, published by Behemoth, originally on the Xbox Live Arcade, which was released August 27, 2008. Then it was subsequently released on everything else pretty much. And that is where we played it, on everything else. Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoy the show. It is time to talk Castle Crashers, a very, very popular little indie game that has taken the beat-em-up world by storm for its RPG-like elements, and of course, it's a very wonderful couch co-op, and now online co-op, of course, so we never actually go to people's houses. And speaking of two people's houses I would love to go to, with me is Alan from the beautiful house in Great Britain, and Sam from Cheeseland in Wisconsin. How are you guys?
Good. You're not invited.
Good. You are invited.
I don't need to be invited. I am just showing up.
My door is always open to you, Brian. Come on in, sit on my couch, drink my beers, play this game with me, because I need friends.
Oh,
I would
too.
like to play this with someone for sure.
Alan and I got a chance to play a little bit the other night.
We did.
And we realized something, that we both can't be the green guy, and your level doesn't carry over into other characters. So that was a fun little surprise when I was a level 1 character and playing Alan, who was near the end of the game.
And vice versa.
Wait, so you were you both playing as the green one? And
well, that's what we played as in the single player, and then when you play the multiplayer, only one person could be the green guy. So first time Alan was the green guy, and I jumped into his game, and I was a level 1 red guy, and I was getting absolutely dummied by the bad guys because I had no ability to attack. And then the second time Alan jumped into my game, I was the green guy. Alan started a new character. I think it was the gray guy? No, it was the little bee.
I was the alien.
Yeah, the alien. That's what it was. Yeah, he was the alien, but he started at level 1, and we just kind of went through the levels again, and a little better experience in my opinion.
It was a good time.
It was pretty fun.
I was kind of hoping that I could just take my level 30 character over to your game, but that I think that says more about me and to an extent you, Brian. that we just accepted the first guy we were offered.
Yeah,
Yep, there's the
pretty
green guy.
much it.
I guess I'm the green guy then, because I am not very imaginative. I will not necessarily go looking through all the different characters. I'll just be like, yep, that's the guy you've given me. That's who I'm starting with.
Well, now that I know a bit more about the characters, I actually probably would go with I don't know, maybe the red guy to
I
start
like
out
the red
with.
one. That's the one I used. He's an electric one.
Who's that?
Yeah,
The red one is electric for some reason, not the yellow, which is what
Yeah.
you would think. But I think yellow is fire.
yeah. Yellow or orange is fire. The red guy is electricity. The green guy is poison, and the blue guy is ice. Ice baby.
Mate. You
That's
know,
pretty
we
cool.
love a bit of electricity here at Retrotopia. So next
I do. That's
well, we've established this through
Yes.
BioShock, through Force Unleashed, through just about any other game that has the ability to use lightning. We are whores for a bit of lightning and a bit of electricity. So yeah, next time I go through this game, I think I'll choose the red guy.
Well,
Yeah,
fuck,
what game-
man, we
what game
can't
was
play.
that?
What?
where I landed and then like it was a shock. Was that BioShock Infinite or Bio? Yeah,
I think
like-
so. Yeah.
I would like swing onto a platform and I would land and like electricity would come out. That's fun. I love
That is cool.
electricity.
That is
Sorry,
cool.
that's off topic.
Yeah, electricity is fun. Initial history with this game with you guys. Where did you first play it? Like for me, honestly, this was the first time I ever played the game.
Yeah, me too.
I
Ah.
thought I'd played this game before, because I remember this distinctly, because this was an Xbox 360 game when it first came out.
Yeah,
And I was late to getting online with my Xbox 360, and when I did, I just sort of went hunting for everything that was around. And I just I had a strong sense that I'd played this, but as it turns out, I think it's Behemoth who made this game.
Yeah.
So what I'd actually played was Battle Block Theatre, which I'd mistaken for this one. But I distinctly remember this game being on there on the storefront and just thinking, well, that looks cool. But I just never got round to playing it.
I've had it in my collection since they gave it for free on one of the PlayStation monthly giveaways.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, same thing. Like I'm not a huge beat 'em up genre person, but for some reason when I start playing them, I become addicted to them. I just never want to start them.
They're so simple. They don't ask much of you. It's just go and beat some guys up. It's very, very pure video game gameplay.
Yeah, and this game is it's that. I like how this game was presented itself, like the cartoony graphics, the way they do the humor without actually like talking and stuff like that. I thought it was really well put together. So I can see why people really like this game, and I'm a big fan of the game now. So spoiler for the end. But there are some stuff in the game that I just I don't like. I think I mentioned one of them to you is like where an enemy, like a boss with a health bar at the bottom of the screen, becomes a regular enemy all of a sudden. I didn't like that much. Felt cheap.
That's consistent for you, though. I mean, that's a gripe that you have with lots of games. So
yeah,
it's. And I just
don't like when they do that. Like, why is this one particular enemy so much harder than every other enemy that comes after him? And are you just becoming so powerful that if I went back to fight that enemy again, I would beat him like I'd beat the regular version of him?
I think it's just because this game, unlike most beat 'em ups, has, as you mentioned, those RPG elements to it. So there is leveling, and there are weapons and things like that you can swap in and out. So you kind of get to build a character your own way, which I really love about this game. But they kind of have to up the ante, and I appreciate it when a game sort of announces it. So you get this like mid-level boss that comes along. It's just like, right, this is the kind of shit you're going to have to be dealing with from now on. So see how you do with this first one, because then after this, they're going to be fairly regular. So I get why you don't like it, but I actually do find that mechanic quite useful.
I guess so. I never really thought about it that way. So, I mean, I don't know. For me, it's why not put in a boss or a giant version of said boss? That way, at least seems more plausible that the later ones would be weaker in comparison, because the bosses are like hit sponges, where the characters that come after are just the same as any other character for the amount of hits it takes.
Oh, I think everything in this game is a hit sponge.
Yeah,
Yeah,
especially
pretty
the
much.
big guys that can grab you in the middle of
Oh.
attacking. Fuck, I hate
I
them so much.
I fucking hate that. That's all. That always pisses me off, no matter what.
Yeah. And
Oh.
are you still currently playing it as we speak?
No, I shut it off for now.
Ah.
I don't have any prior experience with this game, and wasn't really, didn't come out at a time when I was really paying much attention. So it's kind of cool to go back to. Like, this is is this really kind of the beginning of an indie title like this catching fire? Like,
Yeah, it's
obviously
definitely
we
an
kind of take
early
it for
indie
granted
title.
now.
It's
Yeah.
early days, definitely.
Yeah.
Sam, do you remember a website called Newgrounds?
I don't have a lot of experience with Newgrounds, but that's
But
I'm
the
kinda
concept
cruising.
of it. There was old Flash games, and I think this was kind of born of that website.
Oh.
Yeah,
'cause it does have
it's
that
like Flash games
feel.
and yeah, it does. It has that, like, did you ever watch God, like shit on E-Bombs World and stuff, where it just has that kind of the animation style where it's like, yeah, this could have been made in Paint. Like that sort of thing. Like the way that the characters move and the way the graphics kind of operate, which also kind of makes the game sometimes challenging, because I can't tell necessarily sometimes like when I'm actually in front of something to be able to hit it. So you have to kind of gauge where you are, but there's not really a lot of shadow. Everything's kind of flat looking.
That's true. And
Which
now
isn't bad. It just makes it challenging.
I didn't notice it until you just brought it up, but that whole kind of animation style does kind of feel like craft paper almost. Like,
Yeah.
it's almost like a Paper Mario game in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
That you
Yeah,
can
it does have
quite
that
tell
feel.
when you're exactly in
No.
line, because nothing has depth.
Don't quote me on this, but I think it's called vector graphics, and the only difference between vector graphics and anything else is vector art can scale itself without ruining its shape or its lines.
I am going to quote you on that.
Okay,
Just
go right
because.
ahead.
I mean, you're generally fairly reliable when it comes to shit like that. So if I'm wrong, it's your fault now.
Well,
I blame
it could
you.
also be sprite graphics. I mean, if they're just using like still images just in the way they use sprites, I mean, it could be done that way too. Like, I have no idea how it was developed. Get off my back.
Okay, I will. Jesus Christ. Just stop coming into my home then.
There we go. One of the best parts about this game, I think, is the fact that a lot of the humor in the game is done without dialogue.
Oh,
I mean,
and it lands.
Yep.
yeah, you got it. Like this shitting deer.
Oh,
I mean, I still laugh at that. Like that is just so
that
funny
cracked
when
me up.
when you're running away from that boss and you're on top of the deer and that one is just like shitting its way to freedom. Oh my god, I had to pause the game the first time I did that because I was laughing so hard, and then the second time it wasn't as funny.
no, but the thing is, it is, because I was sitting there playing it, and all of a sudden, because you're wandering through the forest, and there are almost like the Jurassic Park ground shakes, and like every animal that's like, you've got the bear, you've got the owl that's just shitting in the bush.
Oh
And
yeah.
I turned to my wife and said, "What the fuck is going on with this game?" And like, she had to have a look. We just both had a laugh at it, because that deer just like propelling itself almost South Park style off the side of the screen is hilarious in itself. But then you get that massive chase scene with the boss, and it is still chasing along with you while shitting. And then Sam, you said you saw it later on, just like flying across the moon or some shit, shitting.
Yeah.
And it's just
yeah,
like,
there's a spot, there's an area later in the game where it's like a full moon, and then there's like a silhouette of a shitting deer, like really tiny. It's kind of hard to notice, but it just like arcs across the sky.
That's peak humor when you can take something that, yeah, it's funny first time you see it, and you can continue to use it and continue making it funny. Like that is just peak right there.
it's just,
Yeah,
you know, when you take a joke so far that it goes from funny to like, okay,
Yeah.
and then back to funny again.
Yep.
That's what I loved about it.
And when it
I
got
love a
less
good-
funny for me,
love a
what
good
I more
callback.
mean is I had to lock in because I was focusing too much on the pooping deer, like propelling himself over logs and stuff.
But there's so much shit going in the background of this game.
Oh,
It's really, it like they pack humor into just like every scene.
Oh,
And
that
it's-
it took me forever. No, not forever, but it took me a while. Like, you know, the cat in the water there at the boat where you have to shoot the can or get the cannon to shoot at the cat.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We
Yeah,
played that together.
it's a catfish. It's in the water. It's a cat. It is a catfish. And I had one of those
Oh,
moments, where I was away from the game for a bit and I was thinking about it, and all of a sudden I was like, "Oh, that's pretty clever."
that is clever, and I am
Oh,
not apparently.
it's a catfish, you see.
Ah,
Oh, I forgot about that level. That's like one of the earlier levels where you're on that kind of river raft, right?
Yeah,
yeah,
And you're
yeah,
swimming. Yeah, I like that boss. That was once you kind of get the rhythm of some of these bosses, they're not actually too hard. It's just like they managed to figure out a way for them to have kind of a trick or like a hook to them, which I
yeah,
think is really interesting because it's not just like, large hit sponge, thing that's gonna have its way with you like on Turtles Arcade. It's like, yeah, they just get to kind of stalk back and forth on the screen and hit you and basically knock you across the screen. Like this is not, yeah, they can knock you off the screen, but there's definitely like ways to kind of clock what their attacks are and either avoid them or kind of get around them. So once you figure that out, it's kind of fun.
yeah.
I really like the one where you're on the carriage there, and then I think what you're supposed to do is throw the enemies that jump on the carriage into the boss's head. But the
Yeah.
boss will shoot laser eyes and stuff. And I was just using my bow and arrow the whole time. And all I do is beat the guy on top of the carriage, then fire the laser arrow because it hits the cat or the whatever that thing is in the eye, and it stops the laser shot.
Oh
Yep.
my god, really?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I to this day did not know that was how you fight that boss. I was literally just jumping off the carriage and just having at him until I fell off and respawned on top of the carriage again. And it became a war of attrition as like who was going to die first, me or him. I
that's
feel
where the
so-
potions come into play.
Exactly. I feel so fucking stupid now. Oh my
There's
god.
potions. Shit, that's probably why I'm getting killed so much.
Yeah,
but
you can carry 5 of them. And when you're fighting for the princess in the multiplayer, when you get to the end of the level and the princess is being rescued, you got to fight each other, and the winner gets the kiss from the princess. And the potions really come in handy when Alan is better than you.
Yeah, you bastard. I was just like, I had 0 potions, and meanwhile, you're just running circles around me, healing yourself.
well,
I
shit,
swear,
must-
if you did not have a potion, I'd have won that fucking
Oh,
fight.
yeah, you
bastard.
knocked me down almost 2 health bars before I even got you halfway down.
Yeah, that'll learn you. And I was a lower level.
yeah, I should try to
Yeah.
use those potions then, because like, man, I don't know. I was just kind of going through it without knowing a lot of the mechanics of it and just kind of learning as I went along. And yeah, it took me a while to figure out how to really use my magic, and that was useful once I figured that out. Like the whatever weird thing with the eye that you were talking about on the carriage, like I was just shooting the little lightning bolts at it,
Oh, nice.
and it was doing a fair amount of damage. So I would just like shoot it with a few lightning bolts, block when it did the laser beam, and then it just hit it with some more lightning bolts, and it was just kind of rinse repeat. And like, yeah, being able to heal would be really helpful. I'm just kind of either carrying a little animal companion that helps me find healing items, or I'm just, hopefully, getting a good drop, and that's about it.
Yeah, and that's another great thing about this game over other beat 'em ups. It's just like, yeah, you can stock. There are shops every so often around the map, and you can just stock up on potions, sandwiches, bombs. There are loads of weapons. It's just like there is so much inventory stuff that you just don't really get in other beat 'em up games. Like I kind of Go ahead.
love the moment where we were playing and we go to this random level and you run up and go and you just go, "Oh, I need a sandwich." And it was just like such a random statement because I had not gotten to that point yet. I didn't know what the sandwich did. And it was just so out of the blue for me that I just like busted out laughing because it's like that who like go get a sandwich, Stanley. I mean, you live in a house.
you thought I was just all of a sudden very, very hungry.
Yeah, it happens to me.
Just suddenly I need a sandwich.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know what your life is like. Maybe you like midnight sandwiches.
Who doesn't like midnight sandwiches? They're the
Yeah.
best.
That is a fair point.
Especially if you put some crisps in them, right, Sam?
No, well, I
Yeah.
mean, you can, but don't just have it be butter and chips. That's disgusting.
No, it's not disgusting. It is a fucking elite sandwich, and I will brook
Ugh.
no dissension about this.
What is it with you Brits and butter?
What is it with you guys? Sidebar: who doesn't put butter in sandwiches? Like, how are you just
No,
raw
why would you
dogging
put butter in a
sandwiches?
sandwich? That's for toast.
I put butter in a sandwich. It's a nice creamy flavor, and it adds a bit of salt you need.
Thank you. Goddamn Canadians, like
No, butter
always
doesn't go on a
there.
sandwich.
Anyways, back to the game gameplay. So very simple. You level up, you gain stats, you unlock your weapons, you'll unlock these things, pets, which we can get into. Of course, you have your magic, and more fun than anything else, you unlock new characters as you kind of play through. I don't know how many characters there are, but there is a fair meaty amount of characters.
Sure.
Yeah.
I
like the pets.
The pets are cool. I liked unlocking the alien because that alien was like actually a nod to one of their other games, like Alien Hominid, which again I've never played, but it's another one that I've really wanted to have a go at.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I didn't know
32 characters, 4 you start out with, and the rest are unlockable.
Jesus Christ, there's so much in this game.
Yeah, that's why like I checked how long to beat for this, and it's like, yeah, you can beat it in like, I don't know, it was like a few hours. It's like, but if you are the type of gamer that likes to get everything, you're going to be playing for like 50 hours or whatever. It's like RPG length.
I can understand that because there are like different modes and difficulties and shit like that. And
then you got to level up every character individually. You don't just cross your level over by selecting a new character, which I actually really like. That adds a lot of replayability.
It sure does. Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you start with another
weapon. Some of the weapons are random too.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if you start with a new character, if the map is locked again for that new character, or if you like just run through the map as if it's already completed.
I have to imagine you start again from scratch.
Well, I mean, you'd have to because you can't go to the end of the game at level 1.
Oh, fuck no. Speaking of somebody who's been to the end of this,
good time.
Oh, no, you fucking wouldn't, because that end boss rush was tough as nails. I had a bad time.
When you're playing 2-player, are you able to do the thing like in some of the Turtles games where you can like revive?
Yes.
Yeah, we learned that the fun way because it's a bar that goes back and forth with a pulsing heart. And we were trying to revive by, pressing the triangle button when the heart pulsed, like you kind of expect. Turns out you can mash the button.
Yeah.
Well, that's easy. You're not penalized for like.
Well, you are. I think you don't give as much health if you don't hit the heart when it's pulsing. But I mean, in a pinch, it was useful to slam the button down so that you could revive the guy.
Because we were getting swarmed, and basically the animation is like one of the guys comes over and is literally doing CPR. So you think, you got to be doing the CPR rhythm, right?
How deep is my love? If you get it, you get it. Simpsons reference.
Is that what you use? What do we use? We use Staying Alive, I think.
Well, you don't remember that? Homer's like, there's a famous Bee Gees song doing CPR, and he's like, how deep is your love?
Oh, so he's doing the wrong one.
Yeah, he's right band, wrong song, yeah.
I don't think I've seen that episode. But that's funny.
You haven't seen a Simpsons episode?
It was the wrong thing, though. It was the wrong band and the wrong song.
Yeah. I fell off The Simpsons after like series 11 or 12. But yeah, so we discovered that if we just mash triangle as quickly as possible, you can get back in the fight. And we were getting fucking swarmed. So it's very, very useful being able to bring that other dude back into the fight quickly. Yeah.
I mean, man, it would have been nice to play with someone. I just didn't have time. But like, yeah, when you're getting absolutely surrounded and this game does what some beat 'em ups do, where like the enemies are trying to surround you. So like they're kind of programmed to surround you. Like even if you're to kind of play that positioning game and try to group them to where they're all in front of you so you can hit as many as possible, they will still you knock them down, they'll roll past you and behind you and stuff, or they'll if you let them out of your sights for like a second, they're like back around the back and surrounding. So it's just like, ugh.
Surprisingly good. I mean, if you want to call it enemy AI, in this game, because they're not just coming at you one after another. They will swarm and, you're engaged with one, I'm going to come around behind you, and then there'll be dudes from a distance just trying to take advantage of the fact that you're engaged with another one of the enemies.
Fucking
And
guys with bows and arrows shooting you because their bows
I
don't
hate that.
limp down; they go straight. So you're fucking up a group of dudes, and all of a sudden this arrow hits you in the back, and then they start like like hitting you because now your rhythm's off, or you're
they'll
doing the
unlock
stomp.
you with
Like,
that thing.
That stomp pissed me off. 'Cause it's like, yeah, I get it. Like, you want to stomp them when they're down and get some free whatever, but it's like, no, there's other guys around, and I would like to swing my weapon instead.
yeah. But I
Yeah.
did like the fact that if you're in the air, you could kind of do this wicked ass combo and just keep them batting them around for a little bit.
Oh yeah, you could juggle them. That's
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
I
that's
would
what it
try
was
to do
called.
that.
You can get from one side of the screen to the other with that. I found that incredibly useful for crowd
Yep.
control.
Oh, yeah, and there's
Yeah, if you
even
could-
juggling combos if you look online.
Yeah, if you could manage it, you could really get into a rhythm where you were just like flying across the screen, hitting. Yeah, but
Speaking of
kinda
combos,
tough to get it started.
did any of you guys actually use? Because every so often when you level up, you'll get a new move. Like, did any of you actually like use them?
I did square, square, triangle, square, square, triangle, square, square,
Oh,
triangle.
nice.
I would try to, but sometimes I forget what the combos are.
Yeah,
Sometimes
same.
I would just start hitting the buttons, and then I just occasionally swing over to the triangle or whatever, and just back and forth, and it managed to do combos on its own.
Or if I think too much about the combos, I stop doing what works, and then I get, then my gameplay suffers a little bit, where it's like all of a sudden half my health is gone because I've been trying to like figure out how to use this new move that I just learned.
Same. I'm such a button masher when it comes to these.
Oh god, like
Yeah.
I'm a Twitch player. Like I sit there and I'll like grip the controller tighter because I've tensed up and my game goes to shit.
Well, this game is pretty unforgiving. Like it presents itself as quite cute and very, very humorous, but it will test you. It is very
yeah.
easy to get overwhelmed and killed in this game. And
Well, like
it's
Sam said, it's something that you really need to have multiple players, and even the bosses will only focus on one player at a time. Like when we were doing the cat battle,
yeah,
he kept using his little claw attack that would come out of the water, and it kept going towards you as opposed to me because you're the one who hit him last, and I just stayed out of your way, and I was able to dodge without doing anything. So it's kind of weird because the multiplayer does really help with the amount of enemies on the screen at any given time, but when it comes to the bosses, it almost makes it a little bit too easy.
yeah, maybe. And I don't feel like there was necessarily an increase in the number of enemies
No.
when we were playing, because obviously having played right up to the end and then going back to some of those earlier levels with you, it's just like I don't feel like they'd increased at all. So
No, it seemed like the same amount for me as well. It's just there was two of us kicking ass instead of one, and then
you are kind of rewarded for playing with friends, which I like.
yeah. Well, this whole game, the whole premise around this game just seems like it's meant to be played with friends. Like playing alone doesn't feel very intuitive when you've played with people.
Yeah. I mean, but I like that it is beatable solo.
Oh, yeah.
Because, it's tough these days. As we get older,
Oh.
we lose that ability. We've already lost couch co-op for the most part.
Yeah.
And, finding time to actually play co-op games online with friends is just, I don't know about you, but that's just fucking hard work.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely hard work. And playing with random people just never does it for me anymore
No.
because I've already said I've had bad experiences with randos online.
That's true. And speaking about like half of our time trying to get a game going together was trying to figure out why we couldn't get into a game together.
Somebody had their privacy settings set to leave me the fuck alone.
I don't like people. I want friends.
fair.
It's a
That's
contradiction.
fair. Well, I guess I wouldn't want this discussion to deter anyone from playing it if they really only have the ability to play it single player, because it's still fun
no.
in single player. I'd get to a point where I would struggle a bit, getting past certain screens, like the fucking enemies that turn into tornadoes can eat a dick.
Yeah, that's what I was
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about with the boss that turns into a regular enemy.
Yeah.
Oh shit, yeah, that's right.
If you'd have heard Brian when that fucking first one of those spinning tornado bears
I
was on the
didn't
screen,
realize he was a boss
he was having such a hard time of it.
because I kept
Dude,
fighting the other
yeah.
guys and avoiding the tornado. So I wasn't actually doing any damage to the boss. And I didn't realize it was a boss because I, for some reason, missed the glaring health bar at the bottom. And yeah, I just sat there. He's the same size as all the regular enemies. So I just like, yeah, I'll fuck him up at the end. And sure as shit, turns out he was the reason all these enemies were showing up.
That's true.
Yeah. I always hate bosses that are dicks, but then also have like a couple of henchmen that aren't terrible, that they're just enough to be fucking annoying. It's like, okay, I'm going to take care of these things. They leave me alone. And it's like, oh, we'll just summon 2 more. It's like, you fucker.
So
It is a pain in the ass, but at the same time, some of them do drop health, so I can see kind of where they're coming from there.
Yeah.
it is
Or like the
very
ones that'll
important to
drop
have those
sandwiches.
henchmen.
It is, but the thing is, even the henchmen in this game take a hell of a beating before you can actually bring them down. So you kind of lose that usefulness of having them there when it's just as much of a battle to take those down as it is the boss.
Now, is there any better feeling, and I'm just going to kind of skip into this because I've been holding this one in. Is there any better feeling in video games when you're down to nearly no health and you level up?
Oh,
Yes.
that saved my ass. That saved my ass on the final boss.
Yeah, it's just
no
so good feeling. Like, oh, I could just wrap myself in that feeling and just be happy for the rest of my life. It just that white like light goes up, you hear the whoa, and
Yeah,
all
it's
your
pretty
health comes
awesome.
back and you're back in the game. Oh my god.
Oh, always.
Yeah, there definitely
always
was
when you
some
need it.
strategy to like, all I need to do is a little bit more, and then you watch that, you kind of you're watching your health meter, and then it's like, okay, let me take a peek at where I'm at with experience and see if maybe I'm gonna level up and get my health back. But it
Took me
seemed
far
like
too long to realize there's an experience meter at the bottom of the health cluster.
well, it does seem though like it wasn't necessarily defeating enemies that gave you a group of experience points. It kind of felt like each hit gave you like small increments of
Definitely.
experience.
Yeah, because you could level up just with one enemy on the screen. Like, you could level up mid-boss fight when there's nothing else around. So
If you're good enough and you could get an enemy in the air even after you killed him, but before he disappeared, you could juggle him for a bit. And if you're getting experience doing that, you could probably sit there and juggle a bad guy until you level up.
that's cool. I like that.
Speaking of the RPG elements, I mean, we got the 4 stats: strength, magic, defense, and agility. What was your kind of bias? Which one did you like to fill up the most?
I was fairly evenly split between strength and defense. Like, I put a little bit into magic and like less into agility because I wasn't really interested in using the bow. And maybe, who knows, maybe if I did, I would have had a better time with the bow.
Oh, is that what it affects? Because maybe then the bow wouldn't be such a limp weapon.
I think so. I think agility helped the bow.
It did.
There you go. But I was just like, because this game was, I mean, it's not brutally difficult, but it is hard enough. I was just like, well, clearly I'm going to need a lot of defense. And since I'm strictly a clobber with a sword kind of a guy, I guess I'll just put as much into strength as I can get away with.
That's what I was doing, is I was focusing on strength. And then once I figured out kind of how the magic system worked and the rest of it, I was like, okay, I better start beefing this one up too, because
I put a lot into
magic was helpful.
Yeah, I put a lot into strength at the beginning, and then I started with the defense because I realized, being strong is great, but you still have to take a hit.
Yeah.
And then I would always make sure I threw 1 point, or actually I'd throw 3 points in the magic. If I had enough points to level up to the next level of magic, I would do that at once every couple of levels. But agility, I would just level up if I had an extra point here or there, just feed it a little bit, because I didn't know. I thought it made me go faster. I didn't know it was about the bow.
Well, I think it does both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, then my idea was correct then, because having a faster character lets you move out of danger a lot faster. And normally when I play a game where you can rank up your skills, I like to have a lot of speed, because I if you're fast enough, speed can be almost better than defense if you
It can get you out of a pinch,
avoid.
definitely.
Yeah.
And that's just, again, it's just one of those things. I mean, maybe it's not the deepest kind of RPG system, but
It doesn't have to be.
no, but there is a good amount of building your character how you want it and adapting it to your playstyle, which you don't get in a lot of other like thinking of Streets of Rage. It's like fantastic game, but you're pretty much just playing it the one way. This kind of just gives you a little bit more leeway with how you want to, utilize your own specific play style.
Well, that was the
Love that.
classic formula of beat 'em ups is you got a choice of character and each character would have the stats based on your style of gameplay. This one gives you what I said, 32 characters, and each one you can customize. So if you really want the next character to be all speed and no attack, you can do that. Very, like, just real simple. So it's kind of nice that you can make the game yours while not having to sacrifice your favorite color.
Hell of a lot of depth in this game.
Did you guys notice that once you got a little higher in level, when you leveled up, you didn't get as many
Yeah, I
points
did.
back to
Yeah.
distribute? Yeah, I think you started with 4, so kind of there's like a curve where like they let you kind of ramp up quick, and then it tapers off as you get higher level.
Yeah, I did notice that. And it was always kind of like, like I was planning on spending a good few points on this. It's a bit like when you get your paycheck and it's less than you think it's going to be. So, I was looking forward to buying that thing. Guess
Well,
I'll save up.
I did like when you leveled up like 2 or 3 times in a level or a series of level, because you only get to distribute your points after you either beat the boss with the princess or you die and you go back to the main screen.
Mm-hmm.
So I did love that feeling when you got to the stat screen there and I had like 8 points because I leveled up 4 or 5 times.
That's true. And you don't lose anything through dying either, which I thought was nice and generous.
That's something I kept wanting to bring up is like, yeah, you do get a chance to, that's where I would hit the wall where, I was either trying to figure out how to fight certain enemies or maybe I just wasn't doing enough damage. And yeah, you do, you die, but you just get sent back to the map, but you're not really punished and you get to keep all your experience to that point, which was really nice. It's like, yeah, I'll just jump back in there again. And it's kind of like how you grind then and learn.
Well, that's kind of the brilliance. I was going to say, like, in theory, you could go back to the beginning and grind your way or your character up a few levels, but because there's no consequence, it just like lets you try that same level again. You keep leveling up until you crest over that hill.
Yeah.
That's like blocking you, and then you move on to the next one, rinse and repeat.
And it's not even just experience. Like I found myself on the very, very last level, I hit a brick wall because you end up doing this gauntlet of about 3 or 4 different bosses, one after another. And I just realized I wasn't getting anywhere with this. Particularly there's the Necromancer boss, who by itself is not very difficult, but it will summon 2 waves of about 12 enemies. And the first lot are just very small enemies and they will swarm you, but it's generally manageable. The second lot is half of them are small enemies, half of them are the brutes, and it gets almost impossible. I was just like, what the fuck am I going to do here? And I realized that I could come out, go to previous bosses, beat them, get as much cash as I get out. Because by the end of the game, I had nothing left. I was like, I can go grind for some money, go back to the shop, stock up on potions, stock up on those all-important sandwiches. And after that, it was just a case of use those items when I needed to, and I got through the fight, and it made it so much more manageable.
Yeah.
Yep. No, that's pretty much my strategy.
Fuck that boss. Oh.
Which one?
It's literally like the second to last boss in the game. I think it's called the Necromancer.
Oh, okay. Well, he's the Necromancer is the one that like shows up periodically and like will revive a bunch of skeletons and stuff and then piss off, right?
Yeah, well, that's basically what he's doing. Yeah, you're going into a room and then he's just reviving bodies that are strewn all over the place. And it's like he himself was not difficult to fight, but it's just getting to him was a chore. Harder than the final boss by a long shot.
Maybe just prepared you for the final boss so well that the final boss became a cakewalk.
It was good though. A multi-stage final boss that was really fun.
So
Really
how
enjoyed
about
it.
the animals? Did you guys have like a favorite? I had the ram with me a lot, but he started annoying me because he would ram people and I would be in the middle of beating them up and he would knock them down. And next thing you know, I have to wait for them to get back up, which they roll behind me and that causes a whole slew of other problems.
Yeah, that did annoy me a little bit. Like when you knock an enemy down, you can't hit it while it's down, but it kind of felt like they could hit you while you were down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's
for
where
the, yeah.
I
But
it sucks.
as for the animals there, did you guys like even care which animal was with you or did you just take which one was present at the moment?
Usually I cared because I didn't like. Well, I would take one so that I would basically have it in the the zoo, and you could switch them out. But I liked the ones that either would give you health bonuses or defense bonus because that helped a lot. The same with weapons. Like when you get a new weapon, I usually liked the one I had, and the one that I pick up randomly in a level wasn't necessarily better than the one I had. It was just different because they'll buff different stats, and I would just basically pick it up so that I would get it, and then I would go switch it back out.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hated that you had to like go all the way back to the beginning to kind of figure out what animals or weapons did. I kind of wish that there was a way to check at least what the animals were doing. I don't think there was a way to check in the level.
I guess,
you had to go back and talk to that lady.
which I never did. So half of the animals I picked up, I still to this day do not know what they did. I mean, there was one, and I want to say maybe it's the owl one or something like that did up your defense. And I thought, well, you're up in my defense. That's got to be useful. But yeah, I mean, some of them would go and hunt out items. Some of them would find secret places for you. Some of them would attack. And by and large, like again, just another thing that's part of the richness of this game. It's just pick the animal you like. Although I will say, far and away from the animals that float around with you, my favorite animal in the entire game was that stupid looking lizard that you could ride around on. It's not what we're talking about, but I got that lizard, and that's very Golden Axe, by the way. Like that, it had to be a nod. But as soon as I got that lizard, it was like the Rosa thing from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's just like, I've only had this lizard for like 2 minutes, and if anything happens to him, I will kill everyone here and then myself because I love that little bastard.
Yeah, no, I remember us playing together, and you saw the lizard, and you screed a little bit.
I did,
and then I jumped on the lizard, but I had to give it to you because I couldn't take away your joy.
I know, and I love you for that. Thank you very much, Brian. You're a good friend.
The lizard is fun. I just found that with the lizard, when you get knocked off it, they jump on it right away there, and you got to knock somebody off it again. But those big brutes were very unaffected by it because they would just punch you off the lizard, and I started leaving it behind just because I wanted to fight on my own terms.
I get that. It's a fun little diversion for a few minutes, though. I mean, by and large, you go to the next screen and it's gone, disappointingly so. I just love running around, just snapping his little mouth at all the enemies and just doing tons of damage. It was fun.
Making him talk, putting words in his mouth. Hi, Mr. Lizard Man.
Where's my sandwich?
Fucking sandwich. At the end of this episode, Alan's going to give us his greatest sandwich recipe: butter crisps.
Yeah, that's it. That's all you need.
Christ. What else do we have about this game? I mean, the story's fairly simple, right? You know, wizard steals a giant crystal and 4 princesses, and then you go across saving the princesses, and when you save them, you get a kiss from the princess, which seems a little creepy in this time frame, but, you know, it's a classic formula. Rescue the princess. Do you guys feel like the story played a very big role in this, or was it more about the enjoyment of just beating stuff up?
The latter.
I mean, a little of both, you know, because this kind of game, you don't really need all that much story.
No, and it's paper thin plot as well. Like,
but it just serves the style of game. It's just like, this is a swords and sorcery and that whole thing, and it's just like, you know what? We're gonna have princesses to save. We're gonna have castles. We're gonna have dragons and all sorts of shit, and it's just go nuts. You know, it's not even cliched. It's just, I don't know. It's just what you want out of a game like this.
Yeah, if this game had way too much exposition, it would actually kind of ruin the flow of what is otherwise like a very fast-paced game.
Yeah, just like give me a reason to be heading from left to right. It doesn't have to be much, and,
and
make it funny.
Yeah, and the cutscenes it does have, like when you go, say, from the organ boss to the top of the carriage there, it's very quick and very appropriate for what it's trying to do, because it's like, here's the next step. The princess has been kidnapped still, and you got to go catch them now. And then you shoot out a window and land on the carriage, and the game starts up again. There's no long, drawn out, ha ha ha, look at me, I'm bad sort of stuff going on.
It's
Like,
very well paced.
That part was even humorous as well, because like you beat that boss for fighting the one who hides at the organ and shoots bombs at you, and then this guy kicks in the door and he comes out and he starts crying because his boss is dead, and then he grabs the princess or the boss's body and he runs.
Yeah, well, it's like what you said earlier. It's just like they've done all this without actually saying any words. So the plot kind of has to be simple and very visually told, and at no point are you lost as to what's going on. So by keeping it not plain, but keeping it simple, it's just, yeah, I know exactly what we're doing and why we're doing it, and you don't have to explain anything to me. Just
No.
let me have at it. Brilliant.
Yeah, and
pretty much.
I looked online while we were talking, and I went to Newgrounds, and I don't know if the original concept of this was just somebody was drawing flash cartoons or something. I'm going to look more into it when I'm done, but it was just like a whole ton of like little cartoon clips that you could watch with all the Castle Crasher characters. So whoever made this has been developing it for quite some time, and it reflects in the way they're able to tell this very, again, paper thin story.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, they must have come from an animation background.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely looks like a Saturday morning cartoon.
I'd watch it.
Oh hell yeah!
I would watch it.
But they would give them voices, and then it would kind of ruin the charm of it, because some of the voices would be like, "Hey, I had that voice."
Nah, you just make it like short, very short, like almost like fucking Happy Tree Friends or some shit like that. Which again is another TV show that's very much that kind of style of animation.
I don't know. I probably wouldn't watch it. I don't watch a lot of TV anymore. What do you think of the bosses? Like how they were presented in the game, I guess, is where I'm going with this one.
I like the bosses. A lot of them were like just really creative, really well done. I like that corn cob. Like that took me a while.
Oh, the corn cob was so stupidly fun.
I know. And when you hit it, it would like popcorn kernels would come out. It would only heal you for 1 health, but like
they were useful
hit
though.
it a bunch of times, and yeah. And then that also kind of obviously it has like a health bar, but as you are beating it up, it's having less and less corn kernels on it. That was a fun one.
Yeah,
that was a good one.
Like the bosses,
for the most part, they're really cool looking.
Exactly. Yeah, the bosses just looked like bosses. You know, they really put a lot into there to differentiate them, and they were so fucking weird. Like the corn, like the catfish. I think like probably the catfish was my favorite simply because I liked the trick. I think that one had the best trick to beating it, and I like a good trick on a boss fight. But you could throw a dart at any one of these bosses in this game, and they look fun, and they play great, and they're just a lot of fun to do.
I was going to go with the painter. I thought that was pretty good.
What from I remember him in the last level.
Yeah, he's first of the 4 final bosses.
Because those things he paint that come to life, they're impossible to fucking kill, and if they hit you, they do tons of damage.
Yeah, but I'm thinking not so much the challenge. I'm just thinking the creativity of the boss.
Yeah, I mean, it was almost Cuphead-like, that boss.
Nothing wrong with Cuphead.
Nothing wrong at all. I love that game. Just the whole animation style, and I loved all of the paintings that he did. Just they were kind of shit. They're
Yeah,
just running around. That was funny.
it was an interesting concept, and that kind of, I guess, leads into the idea of how this game gets progressively harder as
Mm.
you play it, and it really demands that you use the skills that you've been honing through the entire game to finish it off. Not that I did; I just got to the final bosses.
I do like the fact that I died on that boss rush so many times, but the first time I went back into that castle, it was just like, oh no, you don't have to do the first two again. Just go straight
Oh,
ahead
that's
and fight the
nice.
necromancer. And I really almost got down on my knees and just like, no, I'm not worthy. Like
Yeah.
it was just, I was so grateful for that. So it is hard, but it is generous.
Yeah,
Man, when did this game come out? 08?
I think
yeah.
so.
Just think about, like, man, they didn't come up with obviously Newgrounds has their own animations and stuff. But can you imagine, like, if this game had come out in the 2020s or even like the late 2010s, like, it definitely would have gotten a Netflix show or something. Like,
Oh
for
yeah.
Oh,
sure.
100%.
If
The
they're
only
making an
reason why it
Among
doesn't
Us
have a
Netflix
show. Yeah, it's like the only reason why this doesn't have a TV show to go along with it is because it came out before that was popular.
Now, do you think if this game was released, say 2020 as opposed to 2008, do you think it would have been more of a big deal, like winning awards and crap like that, or do you
Yep.
think it came out at the right time?
I don't know. I think it might have been like something's got to come first, right? But like, especially during COVID, could you imagine? Like, everyone could just like sit around and co-op this beat 'em up. Like, it would have been a great, like, COVID era game, I would think.
Yeah.
Oh, guys,
Yes.
I think this did have a TV show.
Well, shit.
But I just went and looked this up, and just on the off chance that we were making fools of ourselves, because we'd heard about it, and it looks like in 2016 it did get a TV show, unless I'm very much mistaken.
Well, I just looked it up as well, and I have two absolute different answers. I have one that says no, thank you, Google AI, for always being there when I don't ask you to be, and another one that said, yeah, 2016. I had a pilot.
Had a
From what I'm
pilot
looking
and
at.
and a season 1.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. It says was planned. Oh, I don't know anymore.
Yeah,
I
maybe
guess
there was going to be.
yeah, maybe no official, but it does say there was a series of original video animations on Newgrounds. So
Well,
I
if
think it would
anyone
have
is
been
listening
fun.
to this has seen a Castle Crashers TV show, can you please write in and let us know and settle this debate? Because I don't know
yeah,
what to believe anymore.
because we can't trust Google AI.
We
It's
can't
killing the
trust.
planet.
We
It's
can't
like one
trust
of those
AI in general.
Mandela effect things. Like,
That's what it was. Maybe it was on a different timeline. Who fucking
Yeah.
knows?
Uh,
Who knows?
Avengers Endgame.
Yeah. God damn
Oh
it. Put
god,
the tone
that's
back.
leaning into Retrotopia Secret Wars.
Oh God, I don't want to fight in another Secret Wars.
Uh, I don't know much more to talk about this game. There is arena modes in the game. I mean, you just go and fight each other and have fun doing it. Alan, when we were playing, you mentioned the music.
Yeah, I love the music in this game. It kind of like it.
mhm.
It kind of feels more epic than this game deserves in a weird way, and put me in mind of some of the music from like Evoland. Just they put a lot of effort into the music of this game, and I'm just like, it's a great game. Don't get me wrong, but you are scoring an actual fucking epic here, and there is a deer shitting across my screen. Like, what the fuck is going on? It was so good. I loved it.
Well, I also like the musical cues of, like, you're coming up on a boss when it starts playing that kind of like bumping, like, house music type
Yeah.
thing. It's like, there's something on the next screen over it's gonna rough me up a little bit, I'm sure.
Every track in this game just slaps.
It's pretty fun, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a good soundtrack. I went through it looking for music for the episode, as I usually do before I start editing, and I'm at odds of which ones to pick. That's for sure.
That's a good
So,
problem to
like,
have, though.
Yeah,
yeah,
there's some games we've played where the music is just absolute crap, and it's like I guess I'll just take the first 3 songs off the album.
Yeah. That'll do. I'm not going any further. I'm not looking into this.
Yeah.
But no,
Do you
I don't
guys
begrudge you that.
do you
Sure.
guys have any criticisms about this game? Like anything that before we wrap it up that you just like want to bring up and discuss? Like repetitive combat, same levels feel padded, the grinding is required more
no,
than it
I
should
don't
be.
know. I mean, my thing is any gripes that I think I would have with this game can be solved by playing with a friend, and that's kind of what this game is intended for, right? It's like it's
Mm.
meant to be a 2 to 4 player experience, and I just didn't happen to play it that way, but I could see having a ton of fun with this. Like this is a great party game. So and with these level up elements and the different customization, like that really serves to take away from what I would normally think of as just kind of samey, bullshit in a beat 'em up. Yeah, there was enough variety here that I don't really have anything bad to say about it at all.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I mean, because I could hear an argument that some of the hit sponge enemies can make fights drag on just a little bit too long. But you're right, that kind of thing is mitigated by the amount of variation in the gameplay, the humor that's going on while you're doing it. So it is kind of a gripe, but it's not a strong one at all.
I would say my only, and this is such a minor gripe, is the multiplayer. When we were playing, I'd lose my character on the screen more often than I would like to admit.
Oh, it is
Yeah.
hectic. It is chaotic.
Yeah, because
Right.
you're going around. If your character ducks behind one of the bad guys, or your other character, you lose sight of them, and it takes you a few seconds to relocate where you are. Especially if you get batted across the screen there and you don't see it.
Or if you're using like the red knight, and then you have like, when you're in the volcano, those little like the enemies are red too. So it's like if the enemies are kind of a similar color as your character, and you get surrounded, it really can be kind of tough to figure out where you are.
Definitely.
But that's any beat 'em up.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's true. I mean, I found myself on many occasions while playing with Brian getting confused as to which one I was, because Brian was playing as the green guy, and I'd played through the entire game as the green guy, so I thought I was controlling him, and he wasn't doing what I was fucking trying to do, and that's less a gripe with the game and more a gripe with Brian. So
yeah, that makes sense.
I'm going to take a point off of Brian for that one.
Yeah, well, it puts me at 11 out of 10.
That's true.
Wink. Anything else you guys want to bring up before we wrap it up? It's not a beefy game to discuss, so I don't think we really have much more to really get into.
I mean, that's just it.
I don't have much else.
I don't, but it could be if you went into all of the weapons and all of the shit. Like
Oh,
we could go on and on, but I think we've sort of driven home the fact that this is an enjoyable experience.
Well, why don't you drive it home a little bit harder, Alan, and give us your final thoughts and score?
I fucking will.
That's enough out of you, sir.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure later on. I didn't know what to expect when I first started playing this game, although just the way it presents itself, I was pretty sure I was going to have a good time with it, because the game, before you've even started playing, looks fun. Like the characters and the artwork is absolutely endearing as fuck. And, you've only just got to put the game on and start playing to realize, I can see the humor in this game. And it's such a huge part of the game that it almost doesn't matter what the gameplay style is, because it's just so fucking charming. I mean, it certainly helps that what you've got here is a very, very capable beat 'em up, which I am a fan of as far as genres go, but with an awful lot more depth than, I don't know, about 90% of the other ones that I'm used to playing. Like the RPG elements, there are combos that I didn't necessarily use. There are items that you can take with you to make levels a bit easier. There is a huge map to explore, and we didn't really go into the fact that there are like certain areas you can go to and it's just like, okay, I can't progress any further here, so obviously I can't go that way. I'm going to need to go that way, find the item, go back to that thing. Now I can open that and go further, which again is just a nice little, I guess, storytelling touch. Speaking of story, like I said, there's not much to it, but it doesn't need to be. It is a simple, swords and knights and save the princesses and rescue the kingdom, and I don't need any more than that. It's told expertly while not really being told at all, which again, I don't need all of that exposition rammed down my throat, so I really appreciate that. What you've got here is just a hectic, frantic, fast-paced, tough as nails, really fun little party game, which I can see getting 4 people together and it just being absolute mayhem. Like with 4 people, you might not get anything done, but I can guarantee you're going to have a good fucking time doing it. So, oh yeah, and the music absolutely slaps. I think I made that point. It's a good game. How good is it though? I'm going to give it an 8.75 because I don't go for the quarters very often. So yeah, 8.75. Really fun game. If you've not played it, it's remastered. It's available. Play it, enjoy it. It's an Alan Clad guarantee.
All right, Alan making the math hard at the end of the episode, but that's fine. Thanks, Alan. Sam, what do you think of the game?
Yeah, this was pretty cool, and it can be had for relatively cheap. And it's on every platform. I played it on my Steam Deck. Man, just a cool game, worth every penny. And I think I only paid like a couple bucks for it because it was on sale. But it's got to be one of those ones that goes on sale all the time, right? Like you get this on a Switch or on an Xbox, and you've got a few controllers, and you play with friends, or you go online and play with friends. Like that's exactly what this is meant for. And I would say most beat 'em ups are meant to be played multiplayer, but this one especially just like really lends itself to like, man, it would be helpful to have another person here to draw off some of these enemies or hit them from the other side. Yeah, just really cool. I really liked that there was an overworld map and that the game didn't punish you for, like if you died, it was like, yeah, you just go back to the overworld map, you keep your experience and you can keep going. And that's what kept me coming back to it. Playing single player was that, and the leveling up and kind of exploring and trying out some of the new weapons. And you can fall into, using what works as far as combos and stuff like that. But, the game also kind of rewards exploring different techniques and stuff too. Cause I'd love to try to play it again with a different character and see what they do. I only use the red one. So, I mean, there's already that replay value in there too, is, you can unlock different characters, different weapons, try out different combinations of the little critters that you can carry around. The humor's hilarious. I did not have a lot of experience with Newgrounds, but like I mentioned, E-Bombs World was big for me growing up. So like some of that, animation style is reminiscent of that. So I kind of, even though I've never played this or experienced it before, I did get some of that nostalgia for it a little bit, because that style is just fun. So I don't know. This game I think is a complete package. I really enjoyed it. I didn't finish it, but I think it's a game that I would definitely go back to and play around with more. I'm going to give it a 9.
Nice.
9. That's just to show Alan up.
I would say it's one of my favorite, if not my favorite beat 'em up. Like,
yeah,
it's not a genre I get on with a lot. Like it's got to be a really good beat 'em up for me to really like it. And this is one of them.
That's fair.
No, I was going to get into that. Actually, it was going to be my first point. Was out of all the beat 'em ups I've played, like the Turtles games, the Streets of Rage, Scott Pilgrim versus the World, a couple more, I really had fun with this because of the RPG elements. I really liked the fact that you could modify your character in your way. And I know it's not unique to this game, but it felt really well done because it was very simplistic in its implementation. That's why I'm having fun with the game. And I think this might actually end up in my rotation of a game I would just casually pop on every so often and play, just because you can pick it up and put it down so quickly. You said it, Sam. Going back to the world and the levels being broken up on that world map is it's a great way to do it. And the fact that you're clearing these levels and moving quickly to the next one without going back to the world map between levels was a really well designed idea. I think around this time, the beat 'em up genre was actually on like a decline. They didn't have a lot of great games come out, and I think this game is probably what really kind of brought it back. But that's just personal opinion. I think the couch co-op, and I think you guys are right, is probably the best part about this game. And the online co-op, while still great, would not be as good as a bunch of bros sitting next to each other, beers in hands, crisps on their sandwiches, and just playing this game.
It's not the crisps that bother me. It's the butter.
I didn't interrupt you. Don't interrupt me.
All right.
I think it would be a very successful game no matter what time it came out. Like if it came out today, it would probably be like all over everything and people would be blowing up about it. I know why people like this game, and having heard people just like fawn over it over the last, like, I don't know what, 14 years or however long it's been. I can't do math right now. Alan screwed that up. But for the people,
you don't want to know how long it's been. It's been like 18 years.
God,
yeah, okay.
Damn.
But I lost my train of thought again. God damn it!
I'm sorry.
No. Anyways, what I was going to say was, everybody who talks about this game talks positively about it, and I can see why now. Like, I've never heard anybody say this is a bad game. So well done to Behemoth for making a game that's like basically on par with the Streets of Rage or the Turtles series or whatever beat 'em ups are coming out nowadays. And it really did set a standard that I don't believe has been matched since it did come out. Again, personal opinion, don't come at me. I just don't care enough. I do like the humor, and I do like the cartoony style that they use for this game. I do like it was born of Newgrounds, because I was a big user of Newgrounds when I was younger. So I'm going to, I think I'm going to beat Alan, but not Sam. I'm going to give it an 8.751.
You bitch.
I'm using the Price is Right rules here.
I love it.
So there it is. Alan gives
Alan
it an 8.75. Sam gives it a 9, and I give it an 8.751.
This is you using the potions in our fight all over again.
Oh yeah, I was hoping you would catch that.
That's you, you sneaky son of a bitch. I'll allow it.
All right. So, anything else to say before we sign off?
No,
No,
just
I think.
Sorry, go ahead, Sam.
Sorry. Well,
Fight.
This might have been like the kind of very beginning of kind of the, I don't know, like a renaissance for beat 'em ups. Like you mentioned that Scott Pilgrim game, which I've not played, but I've heard really good things about it. You got like, Shredder's Revenge, you got Streets of Rage 4, you got stuff like this. Like, the beat 'em up kind of died for a while, but when it came back, it came back with a lot of cool modern improvements, and yeah, good stuff.
Yeah. I was just going to say, we need to try and figure out a way that we can get together and play a bit of Castle Crashers. I think that would be a good time.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah. Maybe we'll set up some Castle Crasher nights in the Discord, which you can join for free.
That would be a good time.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about it in the future, but for now, I need you two to fight for me to kiss you.
Okay.